Welcome to the College Football Bros. I'm Michael Newman.
I'm Ryan Newman.
And I'm Trey Newman.
On today's episode, we are going to name 9 teams who will be the most fun to cheer for in the 2022 college football season. This is not just going to be the top 9 teams. Fun is subjective, so we'll see what happens here. But Ryan, you have the first choice. Who are you taking?
Yeah, tough first choice. So I'm going to go with a team that was pretty exciting to watch last year, especially offensively. I'm going to take Tennessee, the Volunteers. When they handed the reins over to Hendon Hooker, which all three of us were always high on. Not sure why he wasn't the guy right away there, but he's the main reason why I'm picking Tennessee, just because Hendon Hooker. He was so good last year, and he simply doesn't really get enough credit for the stats he put up. Heisman caliber numbers, especially considering what he adds in the ground game. Their offense has a lot coming back around him too, so there's no doubt he's going to have a huge year. Question for Tennessee is their defense, but even if they just take a little bit of a step forward, this team could win 9 games. I think they're over-under set at like 7.5, but they could, obviously they could exceed that. But with that offense, even if the defense is the same and it's not that great, they're still going to be fun to watch. So, if you're a Tennessee fan, you're excited. If you're not a Tennessee fan, you still want to watch their games because it's fun.
All right, good pick. I'm going to go with, I guess, an obvious one, Ohio State. 3 main reasons: C.J. Stroud, Travion Henderson, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Should be the best offense in the country, or close to it if somehow it's not. And then you're confident that the defense at least is going to be headed in the right direction or is in good hands with Jim Knowles. Who knows? Maybe it could be a really, really good defense. But even if it's not, I don't think it'll be as frustrating as last year, where you kind of knew early on that Kerry Coombs should not be the coordinator. So, yeah, they'll be fun to watch. And a lot of people are going to have them as their national title pick. So, of course, that would always be fun to win a national title.
Yep, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm going to go with another kind of lock, Alabama. Most of the time I might say it would be boring to take Alabama, because they're spoiled with the greatness. But I'm not saying that's not the case this year, but there's a little bit of fire in this team going into 2022. They just lost the national title to their SEC foe, Georgia. They're going to look to dethrone them. Then the whole Jimbo drama this offseason. And then with them losing to Texas A&M last year, they get them now in Tuscaloosa. That game is going to be must-see. And then add in a great non-conference game at Texas. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then you get the rivals Tennessee and LSU on the road, get to host the Iron Bowl. So a fun schedule. Haven't even mentioned that they get to watch the reigning Heisman winner, Bryce Young. And then perhaps the best defensive player in the country, Will Anderson. I'm probably looking more forward to him, actually, than Young, actually.
Yeah, that'll no doubt be an exciting team to watch. Can't blame you for taking those 2 picks, guys. They're going to win a lot of games. I'm taking teams a little off the radar here. So my next off the radar pick, I'm taking Louisville. Last year, they went 6-6 in the regular season. Then they proceeded to lose their bowl game. But they were 2-4 in one-score games, so a little unlucky. They are 14th, though, in the country in returning production. So a lot of guys coming back, including one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and Malik Cunningham, who I think is a dark horse contender if Louisville's able to surprise this year. And in order for that to happen, kind of like Tennessee, they need that defense to step up a lot. The jury's still out on that one, no doubt. But their win total I see is set at 5.5 for this year, which does surprise me a little bit. I thought it would be about 6.5. Tougher-ish schedule for Louisville, but I don't know. I just feel like this team has more potential than that. So they're capable of putting up together a pretty good wins season, maybe 8 or so. They'll be fun to watch, though.
Yeah, I love Malik Cunningham. He's very fun to watch.
He's great.
My next pick is Texas, and this one is risky because the defense could certainly let you down. And if you have anything close to last year, then it will be the least fun team to watch in the country, just in terms of the misery of the fans, because constant underachieving. But I think there's a chance that this is kind of their maybe step one of their breakthrough back into prominence. And Bijan Robinson's going to be awesome and fun to watch. Xavier Worthy, same thing. I think Isaiah Nayor coming over from Wyoming is a really good receiver as well. So skill talent is great. And then Quinn Ewers is one of the players I'm most excited to watch in the country this year, just because he's one of the top recruits ever. Is he going to live up to that hype? We'll see. It'll be fun to see.
No doubt. I agree there. I'm going to go with my next pick to NC State. This has a chance to be a disappointing one for NC State fans with the hype that they're getting for the year. But the offseason buildup is as fun as it's ever been for them. Their over-under right now is 8.5. The over is actually a big favorite. So they finished 9-3 a year ago, one of their best seasons. They get Devin Leary back at quarterback. He had 35 touchdowns, only 5 picks. Their defense was pretty stout last year, despite a lot of injuries. Now they're going to get those guys back, including Peyton Wilson at linebacker. They avoid Pitt and Miami in the Coastal, so the schedule's kind of setting up nice. Raleigh, it'll be a fun place to see a game this year. So they're striving for their second 10-win season ever and potentially try and win the ACC.
Yeah, they've had some build-ups, a little bit of build-up before and haven't necessarily lived up to the hype, but I do like what they have coming back this year, so I like that pick. All right, my final under-the-radar pick. This might be the most under the radar. I'm taking Stanford. This was not a good team last year, of course. They won 3 games. Injuries did play a role in that, and I think at the end of the year they kind of just gave up when the season was essentially over. But you got Tanner McKee. He's coming back at quarterback, and he had a solid first year as the starter. And pretty much everybody around him is coming back on that offense. You can say the same thing about the defense, though. They're third in the nation in returning production, so pretty much return everybody. They were a young team last year. David Shaw knows he needs to win. He needs to have a good year. Time is kind of running out on him. The schedule is tough. They play BYU and Notre Dame in the non-conference. And unfortunately, the 2 teams they avoid in conference from the South are the 2 worst teams in the Pac-12, Colorado and Arizona. So not good, not good teams.
Rough. That's rough.
Yes, it is rough. It's a tough schedule for them. So that's why their win total is being set at just 4.5. So most people, I know it's tough, but most people aren't expecting a bowl game, judging by that number. But I think they have a chance to shock some people. You know, all you got to do is just beat the teams in your division. Well, they're doing without it already, aren't they?
They're still playing everyone in the division, though. The schedule is set.
Right. Schedule set. Fair enough. So, anywho, I think they'll be able to surprise some people, though, with all the people that they have coming back, especially since they get USC early, week 2, maybe before USC gets all those kinks out, and it's at the farm in Stanford. So that's an advantage. They also have at Washington and at Oregon. And those are their first 3 Pac-12 games, all within the first month of the season. So we're going to know a lot about Stanford right out of the gate. And if they get off to a hot start, boom, you never know.
Yeah, it could be. That is, I guess, good to face all those teams early because a lot of change on those teams. So it could work out.
Yep.
All right, that's a bold pick. My pick, not as bold. I'm going BYU. They were very good last year, and they are second in the nation in returning production, so they could be even better. Yeah. I think Jaron Hall, we've said this before on this podcast, one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the country. We'll see how he does having to maybe shoulder the load a little bit more with Tyler Algier gone, but he seems very capable. And then there's really fun games on the schedule. You've got Baylor at Oregon. You got Notre Dame in Vegas, which is pretty cool. You know BYU fans are going to go wild there.
Oh, my God.
And then you got Arkansas. So that's a really fun schedule.
That is. Jaron Hall is
that's a good pick.
I'm all in on Jaron Hall. I don't know why. He's fun to watch.
He's good.
All right. I'm going to go with my last pick with Houston. I want to take a G5 team. There's a lot of teams that have a chance for that New Year's 6 bid. Cincinnati is, of course, still the top dog in the AAC, but they, of course, lose a lot. And Houston, they're just fun to watch. Dana Holgerson has built them the last couple years to essentially maybe peak in 2022. Their season win total is set at 9. They're one of the most experienced teams in the conference. They finished 11-2 last year, including a bowl win against Auburn. Clayton Tune, he's back. He threw for over 3,500 yards a year ago. His main target, Nathaniel Dell, comes back. He's one of the best receivers in G5. The defense, surprisingly, turned into a strength recently, and they return a lot of production there. schedule-wise, they have a fun non-conference game at Texas Tech, and then they avoid Cincinnati and UCF in the AAC. So it sets up really nice for them to make a run, at least at the conference championship game.
Wow, no Cincy or UCF.
That is very nice.
That does set up. Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments below any other fun teams that we left off our list here. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you like college football. Trying to grow the show, so we'd appreciate you guys spreading the word. And we will see you next time.
You've been watching the College Football Bros. Be sure to subscribe here on YouTube and in your podcast app for college football content all year round. For bonus episodes and access to our Discord chat, join our Patreon at patreon.com/collegefootballbros. Thanks for watching.